800-729-7070 or go to selectquote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-729-7070. Details on example rate at selectquote.com.
My name is Lorenzo Azar Banks, also known as your friendly neighborhood superhero lawyer here in Oklahoma. And I've joined forces with the Law Cowboys, lawyers who believe the same way about the community as I do. We believe in protecting the community, and car wrecks happen every day on our streets. When someone gets hurt, we help them stand back up because this community matters most to us. So if you've been hurt in a car wreck and you want the money that you need and deserve, call the Law Cowboys for a free consultation. Call 405-500-4000 or visit us at lawcowboys.com. And remember, if you don't get paid, we don't get paid. It's one of the many ways that we help this community.
Echo Sports Physical Therapy offers dedicated, one-on-one care with a doctor of physical therapy, coupled with advanced performance training to elevate your game. Serving athletes from youth to professional levels in Edmond, we specialize in supporting high school and college athletes. Whether recovering from an injury, managing pain, or striving for peak performance, Echo Sports is here for you. Schedule at echosportspt.com or call 405-215-9002.
Oklahoma City. Welcome back to SuperPrep Radio. I'm Miles Perry. I'm here at the SuperPrep Command Center. I'm here with Jamin Dawson. We have a great show for you guys. Shane Sanders, the executive director of Oklahoma City Public Schools Athletics, will be coming on. So will Brett Brady, Mustang standout, football standout, plays tight end. The son of OU great Ricky Brady. And we also have Devin Ellington, sports information director for Oklahoma City University. But Jamin, how are you?
Man, I'm doing great. It's a pleasure to be here, bro. I'm glad you invited me on.
Jamin, tell everybody a little about yourself, because I know you. You do a lot with OU, you do a lot with the station. But tell the people listening about you.
Well, I'm a senior at OU, doing pretty good, almost done. Wrap up in December. I work with our student shows like OU Nightly and Sooner Sports Pads, so doing some good work there with a lot of other fellow future professionals, as well as working here, commentating some football and basketball with schools all across Oklahoma high school sports, as well as Langston sports as well, and just hopping on any opportunity I can, man.
Now, Jamin, I like that you sounds like you're a hustler. You said hopping on any opportunity you can. But Jamin, you're in the college world, college sports, doing OU things with OU sports. But what do you think about this high school transfer portal and you guys paying attention to the OU transfer portal down there at OU?
Man, with high school, it's getting crazy, man, because by the time we were getting out of high school going into college, the landscape wasn't like this at all. It's a lot more freedom with kids having the free transfer and being able to go to school. They want to advance and play in the college, but it's all about winning right now, and that's an opportunity some of these kids just don't have at the schools that they've grown in.
And Jamin, you got to cover the Booker T. Millwall game with me when I was doing silent porn. You doing play-by-play with the voice of Millwall Falcons, Maurice Prince. Shout out to Maurice. Now the Millwall team looks completely different.
Totally.
New coach. They don't have anyone really. I mean, yes, they do. Actually, I can't say that. They do have some kids returning from on the roster from Millwood last year, but they didn't really. From you watching the Falcons from last year to this year, upcoming season, what do you think is going to happen with that program?
Well, I knew it was going to look drastically different because I think that was probably the best group in the state, regardless of district or whatever you may have, because the leadership was great from Coach Williams and going all the way down and his staff, but it's a lot of good young talent there, and some of it has left to follow Coach Williams at Carl Albert. But I think they have a good platform set to succeed. Of course, they hired Xavier Henry, so I think his leadership will be great moving forward. But just opportunity for some of those younger kids to play, and even transfers coming in. I believe they got Marcus Lee. Yeah. We saw him at the showcase. Yeah, he can ball.
That was a big transfer for them. What did you think of Marcus's game at the showcase? Because you got to sit there with Jay Swick, on the live stream, calling the game like this on the Radio 2 Live. Watching him play. What do you think about his game?
Man, he plays hard. He's an unselfish player. Had the ball on the string. He's got a good shot as well. So I think one thing a lot of those kids were able to display is playing with players they've never played with before, being able to adapt to.
It was a busy, hectic day that day. But what did you think about the Super Prep Showcase?
Man, that was a great showcase. That's something that the city really needed. Man, you and Super Prep, all the work you do and the great team, man, that was a great event to put on. But that was a lot of talent there. Great opportunity for some kids that haven't got that exposure to play in front of those college coaches and get some looks, even the younger ones, from the seniors down to the juniors and sophomores.
I want to talk to you back on the Millwood Marcus Lee. Who do you think else you might come see in the high school transport at Millwood? I mean, is there anybody else you would like to see move, or you don't know as of right now?
Yeah.
And that's kind of crazy. We watched that game happen. So they're the two most goal balls. You know, and Kevon Shields, he's a rising junior. If I'm right, he plays football and basketball at Millwood. He'll be on the basketball team. Shout out to Kevon. And also, who else was I about to say? Huncho Keys. Shout out to my man Huncho. Anthony Keys. He just transferred from Millwood to Choctaw. So you've seen a lot of movement with the football and basketball team. Shout out to Coach Darwin Franklin. He's now the head coach at Edmond Santa Fe for football. So there's a lot of movement going on at Millwood.
And I think that's a great opportunity while we're touching on that for Coach Franklin to jump up there and be in 6A1 Santa Fe. They got a lot of kids that can play. They've produced a lot of D1 talent. So I think that's a great opportunity for him to just continue to add to his resume.
Now, do you see any kids from the Wood going to the Fe? Could you see that happening? And it's crazy when you were talking about this because I was asked yesterday, are any kids from Millwood going to Santa Fe? Now, I haven't heard anything publicly about it. No one's told me personally about it, so I don't know. So.
Yeah, you would think so. Just with proximity, it's not very far away. You could,
Edmond is down the street from Millwood. Yeah.
I'm telling you, and it's the same group of talent. You know, as far as playing different 6A1 teams, it's the same thing. Trying to get that gold ball, but there's a lot of kids going to Choctaw too, man.
Okay, so there's more going.
Yes, a lot of them going to Choctaw. I saw a couple kids, of course, from Millwood, Edmond North, really all across the metro. But Choctaw, I mean, they've got kids.
And it's funny, I don't say this saying it's true. I don't know, but I saw a joke on Facebook when we posted Anthony Keys transfer from Millwood to Choctaw. Choctaw got NIL. So I don't know, and I'm not going on the record saying that's true. I'm just saying what I read a comment. So no one don't fact check me on that one. I don't even know if that's true or not. But you saying all over the metro, so that made me think of dang, everybody's going to Choctaw for some reason, right?
For some reason, man. But the thing is, if you can have and establish a program of excellence, kids will want to go there. I mean, they got nice facilities. Their field is nice. I went to a game and watched them play a couple years ago, and it would be hard to say no to Choctaw, honestly, if you had the opportunity.
And I see they're getting a new big indoor facility right on, I think, was it the south or north end zone of Choctaw? So I think you're correct and right on the whole nice facilities. And, you know, they went to a state championship a couple years ago. The coach is good coached, you know, and they're producing a lot of D1 talent over the last, 5-6 years. So, I mean, Choctaw's a hub right now, right?
Yeah, they got the tight end. I think he's committed to Notre Dame. Yeah.
And he's cool at baseball, too. So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's really good at baseball too. So he is going to Notre Dame. I'm surprised Brent didn't pick that one up, you know, because he's big on in-state guys. So that's interesting. But you ladies and gentlemen, Oklahoma City, this is SuperPrep Radio. I'm Miles Perry, Jamin Dawson here. We're having Breck Brady and Mustang come on later. The Executive Director of Lex, Shane Sanders, come on later. And the SID of Oklahoma City University, Devin Ellington, come on later as well. But we're going to go to break, and we'll be right back.
You're an adult with active psoriatic arthritis. Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business on the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Cricket Wireless has a lots of ways to stretch your tax refund. Stop by any Cricket store and check out all the great deals, including a free Samsung Galaxy when you switch. Plus, plans to fit everyone's budget when you save more with Group Save. One line for $35, two for $65, or even four for $100. Visit CricketWireless.com for more details. Smile, you're on Cricket.
At First Security Bank, we understand the pivotal role financial support plays in transforming your business vision into reality. As your trusted community bank, we're committed to providing tailored business loan solutions to fuel your growth. Our team of financial experts stands ready to assist you with unwavering dedication. Visit us at 1541 Northeast 23rd Street or call 405-424-43.
Welcome back to SuperPrep Radio. I'm Miles Perry. I'm Jamin Dawson. Devin Ellington, the assistant director of athletic communications University will be coming on shortly. Jamin, what you looking for? To talking about, Mr. Ellington?
Really just picking his brain. I want to see what his interests were before he got into this administration role. A lot of but play sports. Just exactly what you get out of this, and maybe what he might want to do in the future. That's a great spot. Because that's a great spot to be, especially working with the basketball program too. They've won multiple championships, NIA championships throughout school history. He's in a great spot right now.
He is in a great spot. I'm looking forward to sooner or later, when they're announced the head coach, men's basketball coach. But I'm also looking forward to University getting back to what used to be back in Nate. Our parents were walking around they're D1, they won these championships. I'm trying to get back to like that. University is heart of Oklahoma City.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, nice campus too. Nice campus too. Give them Cruz there. I'm sure it won't be too hard to get them to stay.
I don't think it will be either. Nice facilities like you said. They're very good at softball. They're very good at golf. They're good at golf. Bunch of other athletics. Good academic school. So I think it has a lot of attraction. Other than athletics. And I think it's dope to be on the 5 minutes from downtown. Maybe less than that. Maybe less than that.
Really probably less.
So to just have a school. And I think it's cool. I think Devin is calling in right now. So I think we'll have him. It would be cool to have a jumping school in Oklahoma City like that coming in.
Yeah, it's only right with the growth. The growth of the city. Everything's growing. The Thunder are doing well. Everybody's doing pretty well. Oklahoma State's going to be on the rise. I'm pretty sure with that football program too. It's good to see everybody do good.
Mr. Ellington. Oh.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
I'm well, Miles. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Mr. Ellington, tell everybody listening to Oklahoma City right now what you do for Oklahoma City Athletic Department. And your day-to-day life is like working with athletics at Oklahoma City University.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I'd be happy to. So it's a lot of moving parts. Oklahoma City University has a lot of different sports programs in the athletics umbrellas. So my boss, Ray Fink, and I, we're responsible for, I believe, about 20 athletics teams. And day-to-day in the athletics calendar year, that starts out pretty much right at the beginning of August. Student-athletes usually get on campus a little earlier. And so you'll start with some soccer and volleyball early in the season, then you wrap all the way through until pretty much this part of the year where we kind of get in the off season. And what it looks like for a sports information director really just changes on each day that you have something going on. There could be, a random Tuesday where you've got men's and women's soccer, and then you bolt over across the street to the Freedy Center because you've got volleyball against Nelson University, a top 18, top 20 school in the country. So, it just changes on a day-to-day basis. In the summer and the off-season, Ray has been working diligently on updating all the record books. I think he just finished men's wrestling today is what it was when I went in the office. So, you have all sorts of stuff. There's always off-season interactions, staying in contact with your athletes that you're building relationships with, chitting and chattering with some local businesses, folks that you're hoping to bring on in terms of a partnership moving forward for a specific team, getting your student athletes who are still here in the OKC Metro in the off-season, getting them some off-season opportunities, work, or what have you for growth on and off the field of competitiveness. So, it just changes day to day, Miles, to be honest, and anything and everything under the sun is in play.
Devin, what have you learned from working under Fink? I saw he's worked at every single level of college athletics, and I'm sure he's got a lot that he can teach you.
Oh, absolutely, and he already has. And so the great thing about Ray is him and I work like Batman and Robin, like peanut butter and chocolate. We just kind of we handle different parts of the job in very great ways. And I say to folks, I'm able to be good at my job because Ray is great at his. And the thing that he's taught me most about this industry is that if you do the job well and you do it with and working with, then 30 years down the road, people are going to appreciate you. And I can go into a multitude of many sports circles, or I've been doing some vinyl record shopping, and in some weird way ended up started talking about Ray Fink, and people knew who my boss was. So I think with a great heart and a good work ethic, you can go a long ways, and Ray is a testament to that. He's a great boss.
Devin, tell us a little bit about how the community and atmosphere is in the athletic department right now, rushing to find a new head men's basketball coach. What's the atmosphere like?
Honestly, under the leadership of Sadia Jones, our athletic director, who's entering her second year here with us at Oklahoma City University, it's a bit calm, cool, and collective. I think this was a little different compared to last offseason, where we were also looking at hiring a women's basketball coach. So I think just having one coach to focus on really settles things in a big way. And so I think under the leadership of Sadia, and with her connections throughout the sports world and the collegiate athletics ranks, and then the support staff that we have in place, the associate athletic director, Kristen Covington, our women's volleyball coach, and then her lead assistant, Bailey Garner, who is also in the administration team for us in the athletics department. Between those three and Coach Hollis Giles for women's basketball, holding the facilities down in the summertime for us, we've just kind of been rolling, business as usual. We know that we got a new coach coming our way, and we know that we have a future. And I think it's just a matter of us staying even-kiltered and just making the best, most sound decision for the OCU basketball program moving forward.
And Mr. Ellington, I know we've talked. Talked about having a date soon. Do you know when the announcement will be for the new head coach, or you guys aren't allowed to disclose that just yet?
Currently, still not in a stage of able to disclose, just because there are some coordination efforts between HR, said incoming coach, the athletic director and administration team, and then also the leadership of the university. I think this is a big joint effort in a lot of different echelons of people involved this time around. We saw the successes of Coach Conkey coming in year one last year, so I think a lot of folks are wanting that same effort to continue. And so I think a lot of folks on the university side are excited about this hire as well. And so I think there's a lot more coordination in terms of the information going out and the date and just trying to safeguard it. And so I know that we're getting very, very close, Miles. We are very, very close. I can tell you that.
I think the people of Oklahoma City, they're interested to hear and know about the time and the date of when it's going to happen. But, Ms. Elton, I always want to ask you this, too. What is some advice you'd have to a kid wanting to be a sports information director for a college program one day?
Wow, that's a great question. So long story short, there's a couple ways to answer that. If you've got a true passion in something, and you can take sports out of it, but, sports information director, if you're someone who loves sports and more than just the base level, you see it and appreciate it in a lot of different ways, then I think that's a great starting point. If you're an athlete who's looking to get in and serve in athletics, obviously that's a great way to go about it. The biggest piece of advice I would have is develop some really incredible writing and communication skills, because it's athletics communications for a reason. And there's a lot of different moving parts, and there are a lot of different roles on a day-to-day basis. So knowing how to communicate within those kaleidoscopial roles that are ever shifting on a day-to-day basis, like I've said. Now, you've got to go from baseball to basketball to volleyball to men's and women's wrestling to golf to cross country to some instances bowling. You've got all sorts of swimming and all this and that at at these other schools as well. So I think knowing a good, strong way to communicate will take someone really, really far. And then also put yourself out there in terms of finding media opportunities or working at game day operations, places, opportunities with a local college or, some sort of high school type gig as well, and find you someone in the media realm who's like a Ray Fink that tends to know just about everybody and who is kind and modest and is willing to teach and help you along the way. So mentorship and great communication skills.
And I think it's some great advice. But what else? As in you juggling all those sports, how does that take toll on you? How do you handle all that?
Exciting. When I wake up and I understand that there are 4 different sports sometimes with a postseason tournament thrown in there, it definitely, you wake up excited, and that's the passion part of it. For me, this is, if I told 5-year-old me that this is what I was doing and that I was on radio talking about what I do working in sports, he'd think I was the coolest guy ever. And so I think I lean into that a little bit and understanding that I can be childlike within it because I'm still a spectator in a sense, but I have a responsibility for the sporting events that I work. And, taking in a beautiful sunset at Ann Lacey Stadium from the press box and doing the PA for Phil McSpadden's softball teams and the OCU Stars, back-to-back NAIA Softball Player of the Year award winner, Annalise Rayburn. We're talking about some high-level accolades and these athletes that I'm getting the honor of just, saying their name over the microphone or playing a song that I know they like because they're about to come up to bat, or it's just the little fun things that make it excitable when you wake up. And, hey, those 100-hour work weeks, sure, that's going to take a toll on anybody, but that's why I chose to work in sports. So that 100-hour work week felt like a 30-hour work week because I'm just doing what I enjoy.
And Devin, I also want to ask you, how have your responsibilities made you adjust as being an SID over the years? Because I remember one time you had a conversation, you were doing analytics for basketball and you're doing PA for softball. How has that made you grow in your role and adjust as just a person in business and sports business in general?
Sure, another great question. Try to answer both parts in that. And so, all transparency, my roles at Oklahoma City University started because I volunteered my services to the basketball team. They were looking for an analytical edge, and me and Coach Barakoff at the time just kind of hit it off tremendously. And long story short, fast forward, there was an opportunity for the assistant role within the communications office for the athletics department at that time. Nate Thompson, sports information director, who now works with the Salt Lake City Bees as their communications director in the AAA level of minor league baseball. He took a wonderful opportunity and job, and so I was just essentially next guy up. I played my hand really well and luckily, and the next cards that followed just helped me out. And sometimes that's the way opportunity works. It's a very strange, finicky thing. And from there, I interimed as the full-time SID, and so my skill sets and my confidence in myself in that specific moment were really tested because, the way it works in sports media, sometimes you just kind of, you're out there and you're figuring it out, and that's the way it goes, and it's understood. And your job's to take care of what you need to make sure that these athletes are represented and their platform remains stable, and that you're doing your job within the athletics department. And so that taught me prioritization. It taught me discipline and, making sure that I knew that everything I needed for all 3 different press boxes for that day were ready to go the day prior. It just made me appreciate my organizational skills and, again, my communication skills, because I'm now the sole communicator for Oklahoma City University Athletics at this point. And I think there was some patience and discipline within that, because I knew I eventually was going to be shifting back into my traditional assistant role, because at that time I was still a student, and I knew that they would be bringing in a full-time person at the conclusion of that spring semester last year. And so remaining humble and, understanding that this is an operation and there are multiple moving parts, that helped me understand that there's maturation that I experienced in that regard. And so when Ray was brought on, like I said, that from a very instantaneous interaction, we knew that we were going to work well together. So me taking what I learned in that full interim role and bringing it back into the assistant side, it just really, I would like to think it made Ray's job a little easier, because he had someone he could rely on who knew the ins and outs of a specific program and athletics department. And then I realized that I had validation in the confidence I was feeling, and I felt like I knew that I was doing my job really well, and outside validation wasn't really important because I could see the fruits of my labor. And so I think that really established, my skill sets evolving, moving in to the community engagement side, and now growing a presence for Oklahoma City University back in our community, and then our community being back to Oklahoma City. So I think what I was able to do in the interim side, and as a volunteer basketball coach starting off, it was a form of paying dues, and I'm sure happy I did.
All right, Devin, just talk about some of the growth and success you've seen throughout all these different athletic programs and even at the university, so student athletes consider Oklahoma City University.
Absolutely, yeah. Another great question. Y'all are on a roll, a heater. So I think the success that I've witnessed, just we finished 11th nationally out of, I believe, 400 institutions in the Lear Cup standings, the top Sooner Athletic Conference school from this last year. And if you're familiar with the NCAA Lear Cup, it's essentially just a culmination of performance from every sport that you have a team representing, and, where you finish in terms of postseason success and, these other data points. But OCU finished 11th, so I think there's great success in a lot of different ways, in a lot of different sports, And obviously the postseason run of basketball last year in Conkey's first year with us, only year with us, was tremendous, and that, we caught lightning in a bottle there. But we've got sustained success with Phil McSpadden, the only human being that has 2,000 career college wins at any level of collegiate softball, and that's right here in Oklahoma City, at Oklahoma City University. And that is absolutely just incredible, and just a complete honor to be able to see and witness that greatness and that success. And that speaks in itself in the softball realm. If you come to Oklahoma City University for a softball tour, you know what you're stepping into. You know the name of Phil McSpadden. Now, more so in the soccer side, the success there, we had postseason berth last year in the national tournament, and we were the regular season and conference tournament champions, sweeping the conference titles for the Sooner Athletic Conference on the men's side. Women's, we participated and qualified in the postseason tournament as well. And so, the success is there. We have the most national championships. Had a great string of national championships. And in terms of the facilities, I think I heard y'all talking before I came on the line, Division I was what we were at Oklahoma City University until, I believe, 1985, 1986. Fact check me on that. And so we do have the Division I facilities for the academic side. So if you're wanting to really excel and challenge yourself, if you're a student out there listening, student athlete, and you want to challenge yourself on the academic side, OCU is the place for you. And I can speak from experience. I just graduated this last May with a couple of degrees and a minor, so I can understand the rigorous academia standards that OCU puts into place for their athletes, which speaks for our student athlete GPA. I think our athletics department was at a 3.6, 3.62. I don't want to shave any tenths of a point off or anything on anyone, but it was very, very high. So we're talking about the success that we had in the level of competition that we were in the sports, but also our student athletes are getting it done in the classroom. So I think that speaks to the balance that Oklahoma City University offers.
Devin, I want to congratulate you on graduating. But and it sounds like people of Oklahoma City, hopefully, haven't forgotten that Oklahoma City University is a winning program and a great, prestigious academic school. And Devin, it's going to be my last question for you. What is Oklahoma City University looking to do more community engagement-wise with the city of Oklahoma City?
That's a wonderful question. So specifically, we've been developing a really good relationship with an organization called Community Advance. My good friend Larissa Lockwood is their director of operations there. And so we've had some teams go over there and spend time with the kids that they service from Northwest Classen and Taft Middle School. And so there's essentially open gyms and young mentorship programs, young professional luncheons, life skill development. And then we also give back on the environmental side. Our volleyball team for the last 4 years, they've essentially been the sole heartbeat and the driving force of the on-campus OCU Blue Goes Green Club. So they've organized nearly all of the big cleanups and big-time efforts with local green, earth-friendly organizations here in the city and developing relationships with them. And so we're looking to make our sporting events a little more green-friendly and less waste and such. So those two specific things there. And then for me personally, my goal is to get our athletes out into the community. So go and spend a day at Classen Coffee Company, who is our official coffee partner of OCU Athletics. Spend a day there and have a few of our athletes there. Or another really fun spot in the community, and have our athletes and our coaches getting out there in the community and, seeing what's out there to be done at the ground level and seeing what opportunities there are for our student athletes to get involved. And, so we also have an internship program on the SID side. So, there's all sorts of stuff out there. And Oklahoma City is wonderful in terms of the number of organizations that are out there for us to work with. And Sadia Jones pushes our service hours. She has a couple different tasks that each semester every team is responsible for. And so I just want to commend her on that, coming in and setting that standard of giving back to the community, because we are asking the community to come back and be a part of Oklahoma City University athletics again. And it goes both ways. So I think it speaks volumes that Sadia Jones put that in place for us and our athletes.
Well, Mr. Ellington, I want to thank you for coming on SuperPrep Radio. And we can't wait to know who the next head men's basketball coach is at Oklahoma City University. And we're looking forward to all the community engagement you guys do with the city. And we're looking for you to come back on SuperPrep and talk more about the athletic department when the seasons get more into play.
Absolutely, Miles. You say when, and I'll be here. And I appreciate you taking the time to let us get some notoriety on OCU sports, and that decision goes public. Like I said, you'll be one of the first to know, buddy. I promise.
Well, I appreciate it, Mr. Ellington, and thank you for coming on SuperPrep Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, Devin Ellington of OCU. You guys, we have Breck Brady coming up next, And we have Shane Sanders, of the Executive Director of Oklahoma City Public Schools Athletics, up next as well. We're going to break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to SuperPrep Radio. I'm Miles Perry. I'm here with Jamin Dawson. And I think Breck Brady is on the line waiting for us to come in right now. The Mustang standout. Oh, hey Breck, how are you? I'm good. I'm good. It's good to hear your voice. It's good to hear your voice and to talk to you. Oh, Breck, it's good to hear your voice and talk to you. How you doing?
You cut out. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Now, Breck, let's get this going. I want to ask you this: how's the off season been? You've been on 10 unofficial visits this spring/summer. How's that going?
Man, it's been really good. It's been super busy, but definitely grateful for it. Just being at Mustang since the middle of March, it's been totally different. I think I've gained a bunch of muscle since being there. The strength and conditioning program is no joke, but definitely been a huge change from where I was at previously.
Now, how's that transition been, transfer from Bethany to Mustang, which one is the premier programs in high school football in Oklahoma? How's that transition been for you?
It's been great. I love my guys at Bethany. You know, I didn't want to leave. I loved it there, but I felt like I needed to, and it was definitely the right step for me. Just being there for a couple months now, I can already tell. I made the right decision. Just competitive. It's way more competitive. Just the development and stuff. Bethany, smaller school, obviously. The exposure wasn't necessarily the problem. It was more development. That's really the main reason.
So, Breck, kind of talk about the team, who you've been able to kind of grow relationships with, because you're with a big pool of talent. You guys got collegiate athletes, future collegiate athletes at every position, quarterback, both sides of the line, and everywhere on defense. Just kind of talk about your new teammates.
Officer is definitely talented. We got a lot of guys that can play. So it'll be a lot of fun playing with them this year. We got Gabe, Cruz, Maddox. I could go on and on. We got Obama, who's going to blow up. We got Cooper Clark, who's blowing up at left tackle. It's just being in the environment with those kind of guys that, all want to play at the next level definitely helps elevate. And I mean, this spring I think we had a lot of schools coming by just to see all the different guys that we have. So it's definitely a blessing.
Now, Breck, I know this is about you, but who's Obama? I've heard everybody you named. I haven't heard about Obama. Tell us about Obama a little bit more.
He's from PC, so he plays wide receiver. He's definitely a Division I guy in my opinion. I mean, we got a lot of guys. I probably missed a couple guys that I'm just blanking on right now, but Obama's the guy that comes to mind just because, I mean, he came from PC West. He came to get better, obviously, like a lot of other guys that transferred. And he can play. So I'm excited to see how he does this year for his senior season, and I bet he'll blow up.
What excites you most about this upcoming season with Mustang? Like, what's something you can't wait to see happen?
Honestly, just the first game. I mean, we got a super fun schedule. We play Choctaw first game. Really just my first 6A game. I mean, I've been playing 4A. 6A is going to be a lot more fun, a lot better competition. We got a lot of guys that can go, and we're ready to show everyone what we can do. And honestly, what I'm looking forward to the most, which our ultimate goal is winning a state championship. Which is super, with this squad that we got and the coaching staff we got, super reasonable, and I feel very strong it's going to happen.
Breck, just kind of talk about the energy in the building. I saw Mustang had a great season last year, but fell short to Broken Arrow in the playoffs. So just talk about the energy within the group and the leadership about chasing that gold ball this fall.
Yeah, so we got a lot of guys that have transferred in, and then guys that are younger that are stepping up into new roles. We had a lot of guys that graduated, obviously, that aren't here anymore, that were leaders on the team before I had even got there. So definitely like a new team. Obviously, a lot of pieces are still there, but definitely a new team. But each day we're, getting.
Now, Brock, I have two questions for you. You played tight end and defensive end. And what are coaches recruiting you for? Are they mostly recruiting you for tight end?
Yeah. Most of my offers have been tight end. A lot of schools have said they want me, like, if I want to play DN, they'll still take me. Like, they want me to play either, like, you know what I mean, just kind of what I want. But obviously after this junior year, I'll probably decide which position I am. OSU offered me the other day as defensive end. So I honestly don't know what I want to play yet. I'm pretty 50-50 right now, but I love playing them both, so I feel like I can play both of them. So we'll see after this junior year what it looks like more.
Which one do you have more fun doing, scoring a touchdown or getting a sack?
That's a good question because I contemplate this like every day because I'm trying to figure out which one I want to try to play at the next level. And honestly, nothing's better than scoring a touchdown. But there's just at tight end you do a little bit of everything. You block, you gotta run routes too. Defensive end, I feel like you line it up, you go get the quarterback. Obviously there's a lot to it too, but they're pretty close. Nothing's better in my opinion than catching a touchdown though.
Breck, how has your dad helped you through your recruiting process? He played at OU. Ricky Brady also played in the NFL. How has he helped you with your recruiting process and this training to be better every day?
He's helped me a lot just because he's obviously been there. He was a 5-star tight end coming out of high school, number one tight end in the nation. So he had the whole obviously the recruiting process is totally different than it is now, but he's helped me. He's been at every visit with me. Obviously meeting all the coaches. He's met every coach I've met, and just kind of guided me. Obviously I have no idea where I want to go yet, but just helping me kind of process and eliminate certain things and think through things in a different perspective for sure.
Now, how does it feel to have in-state schools like OU contacting you, and you've been on two unofficial visits there, And then, like you just said, Oklahoma State offered you the other day. How does it feel to have those in-state schools showing you love like that?
Oh, it definitely feels great. I mean, I grew up watching OU football and OSU football. So, I mean, it's definitely cool because I went to those games growing up. But, I mean, I definitely don't have I'm not dying to go to any certain place. So, I'm definitely, I mean, I grew up fans, but doesn't mean I'm dying to go there. But I definitely, it's cool seeing that happen now and getting to go see the facilities and stuff and seeing what it's like to maybe be a player there after growing up watching them for so long.
You talk about development and how that's a key element of your transfers. So just talk about Coach Blankenship and his staff and how your experience has been so far.
So, I mean, at Bethany, we lifted, but it was totally different than it is at Mustang. We got Coach Duran, who does a great job with the strength and conditioning. So our weight room intensity is definitely, I mean, I feel like it's one of the best in the state for sure. Obviously, I haven't been everywhere, but Coach Duran does a great job, and the rest of the staff, I feel like everyone's getting super strong this off season. I mean, I've gotten way stronger since I've been there. I've gained 8 pounds of muscle. And I think they definitely know what they're doing. So it's great to trust them and have them trust you also. So,
Brett, what's you're looking to improve on this offseason?
One major thing would just be, I mean, there's obviously everything. But one major thing would be just more playing with the higher motor. I mean, obviously I play with a higher motor, but just getting in the best shape I can so that I can play the whole game, and not be tired.
And Brick, I'm gonna switch the topic up to basketball. For ladies and gentlemen, Oklahoma City that don't know, Brick's a hooper too, and he can hoop really, really, really well. He helped take Bethany to the 4A state tournament last year. And Brick, you're joining a good basketball team over at Mustang too that went to the 6A state tournament championship game. Excuse me. So what are you looking forward to playing for Coach Brandon Jackson?
Oh, man, it's going to be a lot of fun. I played with Garrett before in 8th grade. Obviously, I played against Gabe and Quayle before and against Don. Got a really good, talented group of guys. They should have won the state championship, barely lost, and 4 of the starters are coming back. And Coach Jackson's a great coach, so I'm super excited to play for them. It's going to be super fun.
Breck, as a two-sport athlete, you're coming into Mustang as a highly touted recruit, and I know you want to be a leader going into your junior season. So just talk about how your teammates have embraced you so far and what kind of leader you want to be.
Yeah, man, I definitely want to be someone that my teammates trust and can keep them accountable and them keep me accountable. I mean, me and a couple other guys kind of got there at the same time, and everyone at Mustang welcomed us like we had been there since kindergarten. I mean, there was no, they just welcomed us with open arms. And, it's like I've known these guys forever, but it's only been a couple months. But everybody that's gotten there and stuff, we got a lot of guys that are going to transfer, that are going to start, and we got a lot of guys that have been there that have already been leaders. So there's already a foundation set by the people that were there. So just kind of filling the roles and responsibilities that are needed. And I think we got a lot of guys that step up and help our team and keep them accountable.
Brett, what's something you're looking forward to this and going to a bigger school like Mustang? Let's forget about sports. Just going to a big school like Mustang, come from Bethany and 4A. Are you looking forward to making new friends? Because Mustang has a big school, like a college. So I'm just curious what you're looking forward to off the field.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to all the relationships and the people that I'm going to meet. I love my people at Bethany. I met a lot of good people there. I've already met so many good people at Mustang that I'll know for forever. So really just all the relationships I'm going to build, the people that I'm going to play with. And, yeah, that's really what I'm looking forward to.
And, Breck, what's something that people don't know about your football game? Because let's be honest, you are one of the fastest rising recruits in the class of 2028 in the state of Oklahoma and nationwide. So if someone didn't know anything about your game, hasn't watched film on you, how would you describe your football game?
I would say I just try to play as hard as I can. And, I mean, obviously, I'm a big guy, so I got big hands. So as far as tight end wise, I feel like you haven't seen me play. It's a good question. Really, just how would I explain it? I'll go attack the ball. I feel like that's what I'm best at, going in at high point in the ball. And then on the defense, just playing with the high motor.
And ladies and gentlemen, he is a big guy. He's 6'6". You are a big dude, Greg. But also, I also want to talk about you have 24 D1 offers as a rising junior. I don't think kids get a chance to have that going into the junior. How does that feel?
It's definitely a blessing and not something that I take for granted. A lot of guys I know that work their tail off. I definitely have a opportunity that a lot of guys don't get to have. So definitely treating it the right way. I still got so much work to do. Like, I'm nowhere near where I want to be. So just keep working every day and just keep getting better every day is what I'm doing.
Brett, it's going to be my last question for you. Who's your motivation and why?
What's my why? That's a great question. I mean, first and foremost, Jesus. I'm a believer, so that's really trying to use my platform to glorify God. Whatever God gives me, I give back. So I'm just He's blessed me with the opportunities that I've been given. And then also my family. I got a great family and a great foundation. So that's my why.
Well, Brooke, I want to say this before I thank you for coming on. It's crazy. I've watched you growing up, and to see what you become is cool as heck. And I just want to say I'm proud of you. And it's a full circle moment right now.
Yeah, we were just watching Sebastian and Ethan.
Isn't that crazy how that works? Full circle moment, huh? Full circle moment.
I know.
No, Brooke, like I said, I want to congratulate you on what you're doing. You know, we're not surprised. I always knew you were going to be a big guy. You know, you were taller than me when you were in sixth grade. So, I mean, hey. But, no, I want to congratulate you on everything you do. And thank you for coming on SuperPrep Radio.
Yeah, best of luck to you this upcoming season, man.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Brett. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Brett Brady of Mustang High School, 6'6". He's a 3-star tight end right now. He'd probably be a 4-star when it's all said. Maybe 5, right? He's 2 years.
When you're playing with a 5-star, you got those eyes, so you got all the chances to bump up.
Yeah, Mustang's building something big over there when it comes to football. You know, they got like you was talking about, the big old lineman is getting a bunch of looks and offers right now. But Brett Brady's special. If you get a chance, you should go watch his football film because he does high point the ball every time he gets a chance to go get it.
Yeah, he does a good job getting off the line, not rushing into his route, and like he said, attacking the ball.
No, but ladies and gentlemen, SuperPrep Radio, I'm Miles Perry. I'm here with Jamin Dawson. Shane Sanders, the executive director of Oklahoma City Public Schools Athletics, is coming on next. But until then, we're going to break, and we'll be right back.
Looking to gain specialized skills quickly, OCCC has a path to success for you. Visit occc.edu to learn more and call 405-682-1611 to take the first step towards your future today.
As Oklahomans go to the polls to make their voices heard this election season, transparency matters. But how do you know who's funding the candidate's campaign? That's where the Oklahoma Ethics Commission comes in, bringing awareness to political donations. It's your source for local campaign finance, showing you who's behind every candidate, so you can educate yourself and vote with more confidence. The Oklahoma Ethics Commission, bringing transparency to campaign finance. Visit ethics.ok.gov. Every election year brings a flood of political ads. Everywhere you look, there's a campaign message. But who's behind the scenes and paying for it? And what kind of influence could that money bring? The Oklahoma Ethics Commission brings transparency to that equation. It brings awareness to who's behind the candidate's campaign funding so you can educate yourself and vote with more confidence. The Oklahoma Ethics Commission, working to build trust in politics. Visit ethics.ok.gov to find out more.
Cricket Wireless has lots of ways to stretch your tax refund. Stop by any Cricket store and check out all the great deals, including a free Samsung Galaxy when you switch. Plus, plans to fit everyone's budget when you save more with Group Save. One line for $35, two for $65, or even four for $100. Visit cricketwireless.com for more details. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Looking to further your education without breaking the bank? Enroll today at Oklahoma City Community College, the most cost-effective college in Oklahoma. OCCC is the fourth largest institution of higher education in the state, offering over 85 academic programs and more than 50 micro programs designed to fit your needs, including sociology, biology, accounting, cyber information security, and so much more. Whether you're pursuing a degree or looking to gain specialized skills quickly, OCCC has a path to success for you. Visit occc.edu to learn more and call 405-682-1611 to take the first step towards your future today. Oh, sweetie, after all the dreams the family had, this shouldn't have happened to your baby.
I know, Mom, but what can we do now?
We can call the law offices of Jeff Martin and Hanson Durrani. They help families like ours fighting for justice for birth injuries.
But what if we can't afford a lawyer?
Honey, with them, if there's no recovery, there's no fee. They're here to help us rebuild our dreams.
Call the law offices of Jeff Martin and Hanson Durrani today. 918-728-8818. 918-728-8888.
We cover it all. We are OKC Sports Radio. KINB FM 105.3 HD1. Kingfisher, Oklahoma City. A Perry Broadcasting Station.
Oklahoma City, SuperPrep Radio. I'm Miles Perry. I got Jamin Dawson with me. We just had Breck Brady, the 3-star 2028 tight end from Mustang High School. Come on. Jamin, what you think about Breck?
Man, he's an impressive kid. You could tell he comes from a great family, humble guy. Of course, his dad has all the experience he would need to be able to learn from and help him guide his career. But overall, I think he's a great athlete. I watched him on tape. He's a good tight end. He's a good defensive end as well. So I feel like, just like he said, after his junior year, he'll have a better gauge of what he wants to play in college. But he's impressive, and I'm ready to see him inserted into this Mustang team and see how far they get in the postseason this year.
To credit all you said, and I think you're right, but I was just more intrigued how well he talked for his age, because I feel like a lot of high school kids that haven't had a lot of interviews, they come in here and they're nervous. But he was well spoken. But I'm not surprised. But he was well spoken. But no, I think Mustangs on a really, really good team next year. They got Caelson Delgado, the quarterback. He's committed to Louisiana Monroe. Just transferred from I think it was Broken Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens with that offense. You got Gabe Osborne at wide out, 5-star. OU's going to play DB at OU. So we'll see what happens with Mustang. What do you think?
Man, I'm ready to see this Obama kid. I saw Jonathan Mosley. He had a little camp last weekend where they had like one-on-ones with the wide receivers and DBs, and he was the best one there. They voted him the best one. And especially with that name, he's going to get a little bit of that notoriety. So I'm ready to just see him mesh with this great group of talent and see what he's made of.
Yeah, when Breck said he has the potential to go D1, I was like, oh, he's good. But he made me write down his name. I was like, Obama. Because, you know, I don't think you said he got that camp. He wanted the best DB at the camp. But it's like, I've never heard anyone really mention him yet. So you've been put on map. For
officially.
The radar for SuperPrep radar, Obama. But it'll be interesting, Mustang, because I think Jordan Davis from Oklahoma would always talk to me about because he covered them so hard and watched them. He said he thought their weaknesses were in the trenches last year. So I want to see how they address that. You know, so moving forward, playing against a Bigsby or a Wasso, you know, Jinx. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, especially I've been thinking about Jinx too a lot this offseason because they stepped out there, and I think they're going to play South Lake Carroll out of Texas. So a big program like that already in the state, trying to step out there in Texas, they definitely think they got a good team this year.
And that game, I think that game is week 0. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That'll be an interesting game. Hopefully Oklahoma pulls it out. But South Lake Carroll, man.
Yeah.
They run stuff in Texas.
Yeah, that's a big feat. They putting a lot of guys in the NFL now too.
Yeah. Quinn Ewers. Old Texas quarterback.
They got I think his name is Brock Boyd, the receiver at Ohio State. He's a freshman, but I think we're going to see him a lot when they get back on the field.
No, yeah. And another thing I want is about regarding high school transfers is you see Booker T. They've had 4 dudes in the span of past weekend in like 2 days transfer to Owasso.
My goodness.
One was a 4-star D lineman.
Yeah, Owasso's got something going. I mean, they made it to the championship game last year, I believe. So, yeah, they definitely feel like they're knocking on the door. They added some pieces, then they might be able to knock it down.
Well, but what makes me think that transpired is because I think one of the coaches, because my friend's dad is a former head coach of Booker T. Washington football team, and he told me last year one of their assistant coaches went to Owasso. So I think that's the pipeline there, you know, familiarity.
Yeah, especially with kids at the high school level. They just want somebody they can trust and somebody that's going to want to see the best out of them. So that's definitely key.
No, yeah, but ladies and gentlemen, I didn't mean to cut you off, Jamin. But Shane Sanders is made in the studio, and he's here with us, and he's about to sit down. The executive director of Oklahoma City Public Schools Athletics. And he's the man of the hour, the man of the sports world right now.
I don't know about that.
Hey, there's some big rings you got on, man. I think so.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. I do appreciate this. And short notice, but it's great notice, so I'm glad to be here.
Mr. Sanders, how you doing, though, in general?
I'm well. Stay busy, but, I stay ready so I don't have to get ready.
Well, you are definitely busy. You have a lot going on with your athletic program of all 8 schools. And now tell us a little bit, how is it to manage 8 schools on a day-to-day basis throughout the school year and the summer?
That's a good point. It's a good question. When you say 8 schools, we're just talking about those high schools. But we also have, as an executive director over athletics and physical education, it's the high schools, the middle schools, and then physical instruction, basically 3rd grade all the way up to 12th grade. So it's a tall order, and it's a lot going on, but it's good energy all the way through. It's good stuff, man.
Well, Coach, it sounds like you're the man of the people.
I don't know about that, man. But I appreciate people. I respect people. I'm a relational leader. I just want to make sure everybody is the best version of themselves, especially for who we serve. And we serve, 33,000 students in Oklahoma City Public Schools. So we got to make sure that we have the best people in front of everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Now, Coach Sanders, you began as a coach, moved to administration.
Yeah.
You went to graduate Midwest City.
Mm-hmm.
Go
Bombers.
Yes.
Yep.
What I'm saying about all that is you've been winning forever. You've won a high school playing 3 state championships. You won as a coach, and now you're winning as another administration position as an AD. So, but how did you take winning from a player and transition to coaching and being in administration?
Well, it starts at home. My family, I have a great support system. My mom, my dad, my brothers and sisters, everybody that I love. It starts there. And home may look different to other individuals, so it really, really relies on that connection. And that's what happened very, very early in my life. I had a lot of mentors, male and female mentors. They were my family, but they also were outside of my family. And it's kind of the way we were brought up in life, man. It's just pouring life into each other and making sure that we helped each other remove barriers to make you a better person, a better version of yourself. And that's what athletics is about, man. It's an opportunity for scholars to be connected to something they care about, whether it's ball, whether it's something on the field, whatever entices you. And that motivates you, and the positive individuals around you kind of helps set you up for pretty good success, man. And I've been blessed. I'm not gonna lie. I made it sound easy in the answer. Probably stumbled around some of my words and probably left some people out. But it takes a village. It really does, and that's why school is so important. That's why a school community is so important. It takes more than one person to make things successful around not just yourself, but those around you.
Well, you've had a decorated and extensive coaching career in different sports. Just kind of talk about your coaching style and what you want to impress on those student athletes.
Well, I'll tell you, it changed as I got older. I was the fiery head coach that knew how to project their voice, and if you knew me, it wasn't yelling, it was projecting, right? But if you didn't know me, people thought that I was just yelling all the time. But you got to be in different places in all the right spots and all the right times. And I think the biggest things that allowed me to be what you guys are saying about me, I don't necessarily speak about that a lot, but I got to see a lot of great coaching and got to be coached by a lot of great people. Dick Evans at Newark City High School, a lot of greats. Brian Verberker was my head coach in high school. Dennis Huggins was my head coach when we won state championships. Coach V was our head coach when we lost to Jinx in the finals in 1996. I'm still butthurt about that. Excuse my language, everybody. But just a lot of great adults in my space, in the time that I was around. And the leadership piece in that, I took different pieces from every single individual. Even Mike Whaley was my head coach when I was assistant coach at Westmore High School, when I coached offensive line. Just being able to pick the greatest things out of those individuals to be able to make myself the best version of myself, to be able to make our programs better, make our kids better. And I really tell our families that when we have those parent meetings that, mom, dad, caregiver, we are an extension of you. We're an extension of you. We fill the gaps as a coach. And those are the type of characteristics that we look for our head coaches, our assistant coaches, our volunteer coaches here in Oklahoma City Public Schools as well.
Yeah,
great question. Great question.
That was a great question, Jay. Coach, I want to talk about all the movement that's going on in high school sports within your athletic district and all districts across the state. How do you feel about, and before we get into Oklahoma City Public Schools, this in general, I ask you as a coach more than an administrator, how do you feel about these coaching changes kind of, I want to say, copying off of college sports and pro sports, but it's trickling down, coaches moving year to year for new spots and different jobs. How do you look at that as a former coach?
Well, I look at it two ways. In this society, as an adult, as a person, you have to make decisions that are best for your family. So I look at it from that perspective. And so those individuals that get upset about changes and things of that nature, I want you to maybe consider pausing and thinking about you're not in that household. You're not in those conversations at the dinner table or wherever those conversations happen. And so people have to make the best decision for themselves. Now, everybody's going to judge, and decisions that are made are not going to be the 100% appropriate decision for everybody. So that's one side of that. And then the other side is that the game is changing. Society is changing. The pressures that are involved in that, those that are imposed by yourself and by community members and by others around, all of those play a factor in all of this movement. In addition to that, just like you said, copying versions of what the NCAA is doing and higher ed is doing. That's driven by something that we don't have in sports inside of SuperPrep or in prep in general, right? We don't have that angle. You see bits and pieces of it, and I won't name any schools or districts in regards to that. We're a larger district that could participate in things like that, but our focus is not to participate in situations where student athletes or families can be subjected to things. Our goal is to be able to lift up families and create better opportunities for a generation of families. That's what public school ball is about, and public school systems are about. I can't speak for other school systems because I haven't participated in those, but I know specifically what public ed and public sports, I know their role. So there shouldn't be any shade or judgment. I know it's good radio, it's good TV, but man, at the end of the day, people have to do what they think is right for their families, and that goes for all of these transfers as well.
We'll just kind of talk about some of the student athletes that you've been seeing as you do your job, and have you seen the mindset or the approach of how these student athletes approach the game, and is it trending in the right direction?
I think in the right spots, they're trending in the right direction. Yes, I think the goal is the adults that are supporting those student athletes along the way. That's why, I'm just be honest with you, we focus in Oklahoma City Public Schools is to get the best version of an adult in front of our kids so that way they get quality mentors to guide them along the way. Because it's not easy. There's so many things flying at them with social media and people reaching out to them. I just saw in the state championship, just a state tournament this past year, as my first year as an athletic director, and I just noticed how much the kids were being pulled from adults before they even get on the court. I was just talking about the basketball state tournament. When I was playing the state championship in 94, 95, 96, when I was coaching from 2012 to 2018 at Carl Albert, our kids were dialed in and focused, and they didn't have that many distractions. And so that's tough. That's tough, and it does take away from the game. I know the crowd, the fans, the supporters, the sponsors, that's all part of the experience. But at the end of the day, good people, we want those young men and women to be able to compete at their highest level, and sometimes those distractions kind of affect that.
And, Coach, going back to on the topic of coaches, you guys just hired Rodney Hill's new head men's basketball coach at Douglas.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go on your quote you gave us here at SuperPrep. What stood out to me is you said, we're not starting over. We're building on the great work that's already been done and taking it to the next level. I love that because you're saying the foundation's in place and you're moving forward.
Yes, sir.
And I think that's wonderful because I think the Douglas faithful needed to hear that, and people outside Oklahoma City Public Schools need to hear that. But, Coach, what do you like about Rodney Hill?
I like his energy. He is a kid magnet. That's what we say in in education setting, a kid magnet. That means he's going to be able to mold individuals. Good coaching is good coaching. I don't care if you're coaching 12-year-olds or you're coaching 45-year-olds. If you know how to bring a team together and do the things that are right and make consistent changes and adjustments along the way, it doesn't matter whether you're coaching females or males. A good coach is a good coach. Coach Hill, he has a resume that is built for success. He's been a part of a couple of really strong collegiate programs, and he wasn't just picking up towels either. He wasn't a get-back coach either. He was a mentor. He was assigned to individuals and had all of the processes and practices that college coaches have to do on the daily grind. He worked hard at that. And I'm going to be honest with you that we I'm not going to speak a lot about our interview process because it's the same across the board regardless of what the program is. But we do take a lot of things in consideration when we identify things. But going back to Coach, Rodney's just he's a rock star in regards to how he connects. He will command the room. And that doesn't win basketball games. I know that. But what it does, it wins hearts. And the kids will run through the wall for you if they really understand that you're authentic. And everything that I've experienced with him thus far, he's extremely authentic. And those are some of the attributes that I make sure that our athletic directors make sure that they focus on when they're interviewing individuals for positions.
Just kind of talk about your journey into administration. We're talking about coaches and kind of what you see right now, but what made you want to take this step?
It's a loaded question. I started in administration, and to be honest with you, I was coaching before I was an educator. I've been in education for 25 years, 26 going into my 26th year, and I was what they would call a lay coach or an adjunct coach, and I started out that way. I wanted to do that because of how much those individuals inspired me. Those coaches inspired me growing up. My brothers and I, and my sister, we played at high levels, softball with my sister. My brothers they played baseball and football and ran track, and so we were exposed to a lot of adults that really wanted to see the best version of ourselves. And I know I keep saying that, but that's a core value that I have. And what charged me to be inside of administration was I wanted to support more families than just my football program or our football program or our basketball program or our track program or our baseball program. I wanted to inspire or support and remove barriers for more people. And the best way for me to do that is to move to the next level, which is administration. So essentially I started out at Star Spencer High School as a dean of instruction. And I worked there a couple of years until I transitioned over to the great Northeast Academy in Oklahoma City Public Schools to help support them while it was still in motion. And then I continued on through that process and stayed as administrator at Class and SAS at Northeast. And all along the way, I was able to be part or a small portion of a lot of individuals' lives, a lot of young people's lives, including their caregivers. And that to me is servant leadership. That's something that's near and dear to my heart. I'm a relational leader, and I just want to see the world, my own world, to be the best version it can be. And that was my inspiration. My mom would always tell me, sorry, I'm not going to get emotional, but we just lost our mom a couple of years ago. But she would always say, don't be the reason why somebody has a bad day. And so I transpired that to not only the kids that I talk to, but the adults that I talk to as well. And I share that with them a lot. It's really important. You shouldn't be the reason why somebody has a bad day. Doesn't mean you're not going to have a bad day, but the opportunity is there for you to brighten somebody else's day. And what better way to do that to be in education, to be in classrooms, to be in school buildings, to be a principal, to be a principal supervisor, to be the executive director of athletics. I have that opportunity in a larger stage like this tonight, to be able to express that. It's great things. It's a great opportunity for us to spread love and speak life into people. That's the message.
Well, Coach Sanders, speaking life into people and great things. We're going to take a quick break. I'm Miles Perry, Jamin Dawson, Coach Shane Sanders, Executive Athletic Director of Oklahoma City Public Schools. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
candidates. The Oklahoma Ethics Commission, working to build trust in politics. Visit ethics.ok.gov to find out more.
Cricket Wireless has a lots of ways to stretch your tax refund. Stop by any Cricket store and check out all the great deals, including a free Samsung Galaxy when you switch. Plus, plans to fit everyone's budget when you save more with Group Save. One line for $35, two for $65, or even four for $100. Visit cricketwireless.com for more details. Smile, you're on Cricket.
We got another update on tap on OKC Sports Radio 105.3.
The Oklahoma Sooner baseball team are national champs. The Sooners won their third national championship as a program, blasting North Carolina 13-2. This team was a heavy underdog. The Sooners had a hard road to the national championship, giving the number 2 seed at Georgia Tech, rallying to beat the Yellow Jackets 15-8 in a game they trailed by 6, then rallied from 4 rounds down to beat Georgia Tech 8-7 in 10 innings on Dayton Taki's 464-foot home run. OU was an underdog against Big 12 champ Kansas, but steamrolled the Jayhawks in Lawrence 8-1 and 13-2. And in the College World Series, they were placed in the toughest bracket, but pounded 7th-ranked Alabama 9-0, beat 3rd-ranked Georgia twice 4-3 and 11-4, then beat 5th-ranked North Carolina 9-3, lost to the Tar Heels 6-2 before blowing the Tar Heels out in the championship game 13-2. OU head coach Skip Johnson's low-stress approach worked with the team, telling everyone he's going to get out of their way and let the boys play. Play they did. Junior shortstop Jackson Willits named the MVP. Junior catcher Dayton LaChance, powers now legendary. Outfitters Jason Walk and Deshaun Harris will never be forgotten. Seniors Dayton Taki, Trey Gamble, now part of Sooner lore. OU freshman starters Cord Rager and Nick Wasleski were great. The Mercurius brothers, LJ and Xander, great. OU got hot at the right time. They pulled off an incredible feat. Now join 1951, 1994 Sooner teams as national champs. For the OKC Sports Radio Sports Update, I'm James Hale.
Oklahoma City. Welcome back to SuperPrep Radio. Welcome back to SuperPrep Radio, Oklahoma City. I'm Miles Perry. I'm here with Shane Sanders, the Executive Athletic Director of Oklahoma City Public Schools. I'm also here with my guy, Jamin Dawson. Coach, we were just talking about a little bit off air about, Southeast football and a new head coach, and you said you can talk about it a little bit, but how's that going? Look for the new head coach.
We're finalizing the stages there. We're super excited to be able to bring this young man aboard, to be able to serve these young men that are playing on this football field. Southeast over the last year, and Coach Billingsley's once again done a great job with establishing some cadence for that football program, and that creates consistency, obviously, and connection for our kids every time. And in fact, Southeast High School has the highest athletic participation across all of our secondary schools, and that's not by accident. It's because of the work that Coach Billingsley did building that program. And shout out to the athletic director, Kevin Russell. He's a first-year athletic director, but has that same mentality, that servant leadership mentality that's important to make people feel welcome and want to stay. We got a great bunch of athletic directors, and I know we're just talking about Southeast right now, but, Jessica Linson has, we stole her from the state of Texas, does a tremendous job of honoring the past, present, and moving us forward with the future at Douglas. And so I'm excited about the trajectory that we have for all of these programs that have all of this tradition. But also all these programs that need that guidance moving forward, and we're going to put the right people and maintain the right people that are in those spaces. It's an exciting time.
But, Coach, you've been busy you guys have been busy. You have athletic directors help you as well. I'll give them some credit where it's due.
Please,
but you also had a coaching change with U.S. Grant, Arthur Brewer moving in as head coach.
Yes. Yep.
And that was an easier process. He's already on staff. But was that a good? What are you looking for with U.S. Grant basketball?
Now, like you said, that was the easier. Honestly, that was the easier transition. Coach Brewer, once again, has been a part of that program. He once again, he knows ball.
Yeah.
And he continues to grow in his craft. One of the things we threw on our athletic directors this year is changing the way we do summer programming. And when the reason behind this is, and I'm telling you this story because Brewer really stepped up on this. And so the setup with our summer programming is that our high school head coaches were really focused on doing some team camps or just like some partnership camps with our middle school feeder programs. So we call them summer school feeder camps. And that was a shift that we did in Oklahoma City Public Schools this year. Well, Coach Brewer just was named as a head coach, not just recently, but during the time when we made that transition with our summer programming. Picked it up, started advertising, communicating with kids at the middle school, making sure he's going to lunches. And these are strategies that everybody does, but we're doing it more intentionally. I mean, we're actually monitoring it. And so that was really important because it makes those young kids that are at those feeder programs realize that that's where I want to be. That he came down there to talk to me. I want to go to his camp. Well, now I want to continue to be involved. Well, dang, now I want to be a general for sure because he poured into me. He cared about me. And that's what the focus is on. Good coaching is good coaching. We have this saying in our office. We have this. It's called the equation for athletic participation. It's called the C4 equation for athletic participation. And it's called the 4 C's stand for care, cadence, confidence, and connection. And what that means is that you create an ecosystem, you create a program that the student athlete and the coaches around there feel like that they are cared for. They're going to be able to have that confidence to try something new. Get on that team that they've participated on before, or stay on that team because they have confidence to grow because they think their skill set is going to improve because of the ecosystem. And then you develop cadence, consistency. And when you have consistency in a program, people aren't going to go anywhere. They're going to stay, and that's that connection part. So when you put all 4 of those C's together, that's the OKCPS athletics equation for participation. And we have a big goal. By the year of 2030, we want to have 50% of our 7th and 12th grade scholars connected to a sport or an athletic, or an extracurricular activity. And that's a tall order. Right now we have a baseline, well, June of 2025, we had a baseline percentage of 25%. Right now, as of now, April of this year, our athletic participation rate is 31%. And that's no accident. It's because of the hard work that the athletic directors are doing, the coaches and the principals are doing, and also the kids, the scholar athletes, because they see what they're doing. And you guys have been a part of this. You helped us with media days and how important that was to those young scholars when they were able to be interviewed by you and your team and share kind of their team goals, and they felt important. And so why wouldn't you want to come back to that? Because athletics is not just about wins and losses. I can tell you this all day long. I have 9 state championships, 9 rings sitting in my home right now. I remember a lot of the conversation that we had as scholar athletes and the side-by-side conversation my coaches had just as much as I remember the rings that I wear on my fingers. And if that's what we're focused on, the rings, we're sending kids down the wrong path anyway. We need to focus on relationships.
And Ms. Sanders, I think everything you said is great. Relationships are big in life in general, and I think sports teach you life lessons in itself, right? And at the media days, getting to talk to all the different sports. When I say all different sports, Oklahoma City, I mean all different sports, from e-sports, swimming, track and field, football, basketball. And to be honest with you, I don't know anybody else that has a swimming team. And there's a few schools I know with e-sports, but not a lot. But when I got to meet each and every kid, everybody's a different person, is what I was reminded by that in life. And everybody's their own different personalities. But what they all said was what you're talking about, 31% now. Yeah, I play this sport too, but I play this sport there. I play this sport too. Or I'm run track, which I thought was cool, but you don't hear from many schools, unless if you go to a small school. Now, from bigger schools, you don't hear that a lot. So I went to a 4A school, so everybody played pretty much every sport if they could. But to hear it from a U.S. Grant, that's a big school. Capitol Hill is a big school that they play multiple sports. I thought that was pretty cool. But it goes to your 31%, right? So there you go.
Yes, sir.
It is.
Yes, sir.
Your work is showing. So yeah,
it is. I will share. Thank you for that. And I will share. Just I played for I played and coached in 2 schools where the 2 largest classes in the state. And if you go looking at those state championship rosters, I can tell you there were more athletes that participated in more than one sport than there were that only participated in that football program. You got to play more than one sport. You got to expose yourself. This time period, guys, for our scholars is for them not to focus on one niche. It's for them to focus on their whole body and their whole mind, so that way when they finally are able to get that opportunity or make that decision, they're fully developed and ready. Each sport complements each other. That is a tenet in regards to everything that we do in Oklahoma City Public Schools, and we share kids, and we find a way to make it happen, because this time in their life is for them to discover, explore and discover, so they can make the right decision that will fit their aspirations, not somebody else's, not a coach's, not a program, not a school. It's about them and what can advance them to the next play and the next step. That's another slogan that we have.
Well, I want to say this. This is Heritage Charles' slogan, and I think you're doing it, but I think you guys are building that formula without being your slogan. Building champions for life. Not on the sports, it's in life. Building champions for life. I'm not talking about just sports, but you're building champions for life. That mindset, that that mentality of you can do whatever you would, and
absolutely,
sports teaches you that too. So but I think that's what you guys are building, because you got, like I'm saying, when I was talking to those kids, a kid, I forgot his name. He goes to Capitol Hill.
Okay.
I remember the interview, and he was like, "Yeah, I wasn't that good at this year, but I'm good this year. I got better at it."
I love it.
That excitement, but you guys are bringing that back to Oklahoma City Public Schools. Reviving it and making it and what it is. Jamie, you got anything to add on this?
Intentionality is everything, and I can see that from what you do, and you really intend on pouring everything into these kids. You just talked about some of the changes you made, like with the summer programs. Is there anything else that you intend to implement in the future, or maybe in the works?
Well, our goal, part of our district vision statement, talks about equitable access to a world-class education. And so that goes beyond the game, right? And matter of fact, it's put on a lot of our shirts and letterhead and things of that nature. It's OKCPS Beyond the Game. Anything you see on social media that has that hashtag. And so to answer your question, it's the next step is for us to identify ways for more opportunities for kids to be on teams. And we have great partnerships that help us brainstorm those opportunities to be able to bring them to Oklahoma City Public Schools. Because people don't understand that the urban core, and some might, so let me not say that, that's not fair to say, but the urban core in urban school districts, it's a completely different ball game. Our scholars and families are really working through a lot of things that not a lot of individuals have to operate through. And so our goal as a public school system is to be able to remove those barriers so kids can have the same opportunities that other school districts have that are very close in proximity to us. And so this summer we created this opportunity in a partnership with Strike Girls Flag Football League to be able to have an introductory camp for flag football for females. We all know that that's a really important area for us to be able to make sure even our young girls have the opportunities to see themselves going to the next step, or having the opportunity to participate in as many opportunities on a program as they possibly can. And flag football is an emerging sport. We're about to the Olympics about to come across this bad boy. We're seeing young females getting scholarships to go participate on the flag football team, and they never stepped foot on the field. That's a great opportunity we want to tap into, but we got to raise awareness first. So we created an introductory camp. We had 60 female scholar athletes that participated on a Saturday morning, hot Saturday morning. We had 3 days to advertise this camp for all Oklahoma City Public School female students. And with just 3 days of advertisement, we had 85 signed up and 62 participating. So the goal is to grow that, really expand on what we could possibly do with it not being a sanctioned sport with the association. we want to talk about those next steps, and that's what's coming on the horizon.
I think that'll be interesting if the OSSSA made that a sanctioned sport for all. I think there'll be a high participation rate for girls across the state that will want to play flag football. You know, because you see it's on like you said, it's on ESPN. They have the I think it's in the fall. They have like a tournament on ESPN. The girls playing. I remember watching it this past year. So I think that is an interesting thing. And I think you guys are ahead of the curve on that. But 62 out of 85, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. Wish we had more time to advertise that, but there's doing things the right way, make sure we're following district protocol and communication protocol. That's really important. Doing things the right way, that's what we will always attempt to do. We won't always do it that way, but we'll fix it when we don't. So it's going to be better even next time.
And, Coach, I want to switch the topic. You've been, what it sounds like with the athletic program, you've been very proactive, and you've been very proactive in other areas of your programs. But how have you guys been proactive in football for this upcoming season and the different changes you guys are making with your football programs?
That's a great question. Well, this opportunity we have out of the 8 schools that we have in high school to participate inside the association, we had a great opportunity to be able to, for 2 years, participate with the independent schedule with 5 of our programs. That's going to create a competitive scheduling balance. It's going to allow us to continue to maintain our numbers with our scholar athletes. A lot of times with our larger schools in our district, our 9th graders are participating for the very first time in varsity against a school district or a school that has 85 to 90 kids on their roster, with us having 35. And that 35 on that roster, there may be between 8 to 12 bright-eyed freshmen. That's a safety issue. And I appreciate the association giving us the opportunity to be able to maintain a competitive balance and creating a schedule that allow our scholars to be able to compete at a level that allow them to continue to stay out and participate safely. So that's the focus. We say being proactive, it's just the scheduling was proactive. The reason behind us visiting with the association is to be able to have a conversation early enough so that way when we redistrict, every program has the opportunity to make adjustments as needed, not just dropping out. That's not fair to any of our partners in the association. And so that allows us to create competitive scheduling. It allows us to really focus on developing systems that's going to retain kids, but also retain coaches, and really focus on just creating a cadence inside of their programs. Goes back to that C4 coaching philosophy that, well, it's not a philosophy, it's a framework that we use in Oklahoma City Public Schools to grow athletic programs. Now they can focus more on that with more kids and then demonstrate success along the way, smaller versions of that, so that way we can continue to grow not just that program, but just grow that energy inside of the school. Because these schools are athletic programs is a large portion of culture inside of a school. And so success breeds success. And I'm looking forward to what that looks like, not just with our non-member schools that are participating in football, but our member schools. And it's going to be a great year. It's going to be a great year, and we're going to support our programs along the way. Our job in the district athletic department is to remove barriers and make sure they're able to compete safely. And so that was a great step into the right direction.
Well, Coach Shannon, I also want to ask you this. What is your idea? We're talking about transfers and coaches. I got a chance to talk to my guy, Lenny Hatchett, a couple weeks ago, talking about OSSA rules and transfer rules. Well, they just recently changed it to where it's not a law where you have to sit out for a year after you transfer anymore. But the OSSA has come out and said they're still going to probably enforce the law under their own jurisdiction. How do you feel about high school transferring in general? I know we just kind of briefly talked about it earlier, but how do you feel about it as an athletic director?
Right. Well, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I go back to what I said earlier about, people have to make decisions that are best for themselves, the family. And so I just reserve comment on regards to what different people are doing in regards to the transfer rule or just transferring in general. Inside of Oklahoma City Public Schools, we see inter-district transfers all the time for different reasons. A neighboring school district has a high mobility rate as well. And what I mean by that is that students move and stay in the same zip code, but the attendance boundary changes their school. And so that sometimes has nothing to do with the sport. It has a lot to do with the situations that the parents and families are going through. I'm not here to judge people, but what the association does and supports us in is that they have bylaws in place to be able to make sure that the whole organization is supported. And we go through this process to be able to better understand what each family is going through for them to make that decision. So as it stands, as a member, a good standing member of the association, I support all of the bylaws and the things that are in place that allows our scholars to be set up in a way that they can be successful. We follow the rules of the association, and they're solid rules. And guess what? We have an opportunity to have conversations with the board to be able to change those if they need to be changed. And I feel very comfortable with that in my first year. You may not was there when I was in front of the association, the board, presenting our case about independence. It didn't happen the way that I expected it to happen, but we had opportunities to be able to share what our next steps should be, could be, and needed to be, and that's what you want in a member association. So I do appreciate the support that our school district has received from the OSSAA.
And I want to ask you this, Coach. This is probably going to be my last question for you.
Mm-hmm.
As an athletic director of Oklahoma City Public Schools, someone looking to move into Oklahoma City, it's a growing city. How would you describe Oklahoma City Public Schools to that person moving to Oklahoma City?
Absolutely. Turn on the television. When you look at some of the things that are happening outside of Oklahoma City Public Schools, the city's growing. We all know that, for good or for bad. Progress is progress. We have, I tell people all the time, in Oklahoma City Public Schools, we don't have a resource problem. We have a connection problem. And so that's what we're laser focused on, is building connections with community members, business partners, family members in the Oklahoma City metro area, especially with those that have been involved in Oklahoma City in years past and what people consider the glory years. We want to make sure that they're welcome and invited in that. And so somebody that's coming in new, just pick up social media and look and see what's happening around these neighboring schools, these Oklahoma City public schools, as the Oklahoma City Thunder is doing their thing, and we're about to build an amazing, and I'm saying we as the city of Oklahoma City, I'm born and raised in Midwest City, Oklahoma. Go Bombers. Shout out to the Titans too, and the Eagles. Coach Hatchett, I got you. I want everybody to focus on the progress, because what progress does is allows for the families that live in that community the opportunity to advance in their own little world. And we focus on athletic participation for a reason, because if kids are connected to a program in Oklahoma City Public Schools, it is multi-billion dollars into the local economy. We're talking about a lot of money. So if you are an investor and have kids that need to be enrolled in Oklahoma City Public Schools, you need to do it. And it's going to support your business, and focusing on it the right way. Not for profit, but for an advancement. You're advancing the community, advancing the city. It says Oklahoma City Public Schools for a reason, right? We're the neighborhood school for the city of Oklahoma City. Sorry about that. So for the young people, look around. We're getting after it. We're visible. You guys that wants the likes and stuff like that, want to be seen, your subscribers and all that stuff. We tend to that. If you guys don't understand, we have over 6 million views on different types of content that we have. To the families, look around in regards to our partnerships. Look at the infrastructures that we're building. Like I said, we have facilities that continue to grow thanks to a multi-billion-dollar bond that we had in the year of 22 that we're really focusing on the infrastructure, but also focusing on systems that's going to allow people to feel welcomed, that want to stay connected and engaged. They're going to graduate. They might want to come back. and help support the school that they graduated from, and then grow their business in the city where they went to school at. That's our role in Oklahoma State Public Schools. How can we advance the city while we're advancing opportunities for kids to be great after high school, enrolled, enlisted, or employed? That's what we want them to do when they walk across that stage, and that's a united effort that we have in Oklahoma State Public Schools.
Coach Sanders, that was wonderful. You got me ready to go back to high school and be a part of Oklahoma State Public Schools.
We got some vacancies. I'll tell you that.
Well, I hope I got some eligibility left.
Me too, for that matter.
Make sure you sign that waiver, though.
I'll have to go sit in front of those and say more. I feel like before I sign the waiver, but Coach, I think it's wonderful what you guys are doing. Oklahoma State Public Schools. I'm excited for you guys. I'm excited to see what Rodney Hill does. I'm excited to see what Coach Brewer does. I'm excited to see when you guys announce new head coach for Southeast. And I've been telling people, covering you guys for the last few years, Oklahoma State Public Schools is trending. It's not declining. Shout out to Coach Stephen Alexander. He's helped that along the way.
Yes.
Classmate
of mine, by the way.
Okay.
We graduated together.
He's a bomber too.
Yep,
and he's winning over there at the same time. You were winning championships. So
Listen, that's what we do over there.
Hey, man, hey, it's the M-Dub for you. It's Midwest City.
We didn't call it that back then.
Oh, that's what
we were. I'm the old head.
What y'all call Midwest City back then?
Midwest City.
Okay, y'all just call it Midwest City.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not the Michigan M. It's the Bomber M.
Okay. Yeah. So it's not the Missouri M either.
Oh no, we don't talk about that. Yeah.
No, but Coach, I'm excited for what you guys are doing, and
yes, sir.
And you guys have a lot of good coaches around, and I'm gonna have to come see y'all swimming meets. Cause I need to come check.
Oh yes, please, definitely, yes, for sure. And that those programs are growing, and we're looking to add more schools to the sport. It's a unique sport, and it has a niche to it. But we have a lot of support. Shout out to Coach Norman with Carl Albert High School Swim that supports our Oklahoma City sports, swim programs. It's an emerging sport in Oklahoma City Public Schools, and so it's a great testament to the swim community. We just want to see kids be great, and that's why we do this thing, right? Everybody is in the same boat. We want to row in the same direction, because when these kids are connected to something, they're going to move on to do better things and even greater things even after high school. That's our job. That's our role.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming on Super Radio. Jamin, you got anything to add closing out?
Man, it's been a pleasure. All our guests, it's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Sanders, hear more about what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for
Miles,
having me.
I appreciate you for having me as well.
I appreciate you for coming on. Oklahoma City, this is SuperPrep Radio. I'm Miles Perry. Coach Shane Sanders, Executive Athletic Director of Oklahoma City Public Schools. My guy, Jamin Dawson. I hope you guys see you guys next week. Brendan, shout out to you, the producing. Shout out to Wes on the board. Oklahoma City, we're out. Peace.